wants to change the way entrepreneurs and small business owners use social media to market their business. Her mission is to help them create community, build relationships, and ultimately make more money. Yay! Tracey makes it her mission to stay up to date with the ever-changing social media landscape and truly cares about success of her clients. This allows her to market for them in their voice, which means more money. Yeah. All right, please help me welcome our guest speaker, Tracey.
I want her to introduce me every time I speak. What? A traveling introducer? That I could make that. You could make that a job. You could. Thank you. So one of the things that's unique about all of us is the stories that we have in our lives, in our businesses. And so that's what I really want to talk to you a little bit about today, is using social media to share those stories. So, with my handy dandy remote, I was talking with Nancy Jutton the other day, and apparently she was your speaker last month, and she said, you have to use the PowerPoint because it's a 100-inch monitor. So, what you really need to know about social media, how many of you are on social media? How many of you have a business page on Facebook? Okay, about half the room, that's helpful. So what you really need to know is that social media is all about opportunity. It's not an absolute. It's not an email that you send a message and you know everybody got it. It's about opportunity and about creating brand recognition and that online reputation that we all need. So when I was thinking about the whole idea of storytelling, is someone is telling your story, it should be you. And that's one of the things that you can do on social media. So one of the things that's important is knowing why you're using social media. Many times I run into people who say, oh, well, my nephew said I needed to have a Facebook page, so he started one for me. Well, the problem with that is that then they probably had another family member start a page and had another family member start a page, and before they know it, they have 5 Facebook pages for their business and control of none of them, and that is not good. So knowing why you're there, what are you trying to accomplish? And unfortunately, while I talk about making more money using social media, the goal of using social media cannot be making more money. Because if the goal is making more money, you will attack it the wrong way. It'll be more like an attack rather than a strategy. So we'll talk a little bit more about the strategy. And engagement is key. So let me tell you a little bit of a story about the old days. Do some of you remember the old days? I already know that some of you probably do. I'm not going to call anybody out. You know who you are. In the old days, there was a butcher shop down the street, right? They knew you. They knew your family. They knew that on Sundays you made split pea soup, and so you needed the ham bone. Okay? Those butcher shops, I don't know where they went. But now we have Best Buy and Walmart and a lot of other big box stores where we don't feel like we matter anymore, right? I mean, when you go into Best Buy, do you feel warm and welcome and loved? Or do you feel like, you know, sort of like a cow, want to moo, maybe they'll help me. I wouldn't say Microsoft, but that might be another one. I can't, while I'm here, I have some Microsoft jokes, but I can't tell. But when you think about engagement, so what happened when social media was introduced is this. Marketers and salespeople got excited. They thought, wow, here's another place where I can blast my message as often and as loud as I possibly can. Right? Isn't that what they used to say? You say it long enough and loud enough, people will start to believe you. Well, people did that using social media. So they would say, we're having a sale, we're having a sale, we're having a sale, come on in, we're having a sale. And then people thought, well, this doesn't work. This Facebook, it's just a waste of my time. Twitter, it's a waste. But that's because they were focused on the wrong thing. It's not about sales, it's about relationship. And building relationships with people who might end up being your clients in the long run. It's that bringing the butcher shop back to what we're doing today and bringing the human back to business. That people talk about whether they're B2B or B2C, and I say it doesn't really matter because we all want to do business with people. Those businesses where we feel like a person, those are the ones we go to. That's why I go to QFC Pharmacy. Because when I call, she says, oh, it's you. Because she knows my style, my personality, the pharmacist there. And I love that. I didn't feel that when I went to Walgreens. Like, what's your number? You know, and you're going through a drive-through, you don't even get to talk to the people. But engagement is really the key, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. ROI. I know you guys have heard this, right? Well, ROI, what's the ROI of social media? Like, okay, we all have these, right? That we pay hundreds of dollars for. Does anybody ever say, wow, what's the ROI of an iPhone? No, nobody has ever once. Right? Okay, none of you have ever asked that question. What's the ROI of a Microsoft service? Like, it's a question that nobody would ever begin to ask, and yet all of a sudden, this social media thing that's allowing us to build relationships and get new clients, all of a sudden, we have to know the ROI. Figure that one out. What I tell people now when they ask me about ROI is this. They say, if I hire you, how soon will I get my money back? And I say, it depends on what you do with the time you save. Okay, are you with me? If it takes them an hour a day to do social media, and they hire me to do it, and they can make one sales call that will pay my bill for the entire month, then there's their ROI. Okay, there's some nodding. Annette, you look confused. Okay, processing is good. So I promised you 5 things that you can do to help maximize your social media. Make more money, if you will. Number 1. Oh, and before I say this, I need to preface this with some of this is going to be very uncomfortable. Would you like to know how to make more money on social media? Yes? Okay. So what I'm telling you is these are the things you must do to do that. So at least I have your agreement before I make you feel uncomfortable. Because some of them might make you tick a little bit. You know, like, oh, wow, that one's painful. Starting with the very first one. Post every day. That's not, you know, every work day. That's every day. Okay, there's exceptions. You know, it would probably be a waste of time to post at 4 o'clock on Super Bowl Sunday about something that's having to do with your business. Nobody is paying attention. But if you post most of the time, every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, it's a little radical. That's where you're going to get the most success. And there's a few reasons behind that. One is that consistency means that people are going to be expecting it and they're going to be paying attention. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, gosh, if I post every day, I'm going to really annoy some people. Anybody feel that way? Like, oh my gosh, that's too much talking. So there's this thing that I'm going to mention briefly. It's called EdgeRank. And EdgeRank, you don't even need to write it down because it'll just drive you crazy. EdgeRank is the algorithm that Facebook uses to determine who sees what. So, if Annette and I have the same exact 100 friends, for example, our experiences on Facebook will be completely different because Facebook is going to deliver me content based on who I interact with, and they're going to give Annette content based on who she interacts with. So what I post on my business page is going to go out to the people who regularly interact with my page. It's that whole idea that you can't share the wrong message with the right person. Is that right? Never mind, I'll throw that out. But Facebook is trying to, using EdgeRank, provide relevant content to people. So I can talk a little bit more about what's relevant, because that's kind of a big question. So I mentioned EdgeRank, and you can go online and you can look up an EdgeRank checker and you can see how Facebook thinks you're doing. I don't. First of all, it would drive me crazy. And if I start to write trying to get that EdgeRank to go up, I'm completely missing the point, because it's about relationship. So what do you post? I think that's the biggest challenge that business owners have, is they sit down and they want to be brilliant, right? Every single time. And frankly, it's just not going to happen, and that's perfectly okay. I was sitting home one day knowing that I should be posting every single day, and it was a Saturday, and I posted, I just can't get motivated today to write something brilliant. And wouldn't you know, I got like 12 likes on it. Okay, so who knows? It doesn't, not everything you say has to be a stroke of genius. I will say that I save my best stuff for Monday through Friday, because there are less people paying attention on the weekends. And that, again, is a general rule. Again, I did something a couple weeks ago that blew that out of the water. I was on a radio show a couple weeks ago. I had my picture taken with my headphones on and the mic in front of me, big smile on my face. If you've never done it, it's intoxicating. You should try it. Anyway, so I post a picture, 9:30 p.m. on a Saturday night. Okay, that should have just flipped into oblivion. Nobody should have seen it. You saw it. I got 45 likes on that picture. The other thing that picture proved to me is people want to do business with people. That, yes, my company is Ready, Set, Grow Marketing, and that's nice. But when I post pictures of me doing something, it actually gets more engagement than any social media tip I share. So what else do you post? Going back to the point of engagement, ask questions. Ask them what they think. These are people who've already decided they want to engage with your business. So if you have a workshop that you're thinking of doing, if you're not sure what to call your workshop, ask your fans, because they will happily, there's a whole mess of opinionated people out there. I mean, for Annette, because I happen to know Annette and I know what she does, you could take two outfits and say, which one do you like better? I mean, who really cares? But they do, and they will share it with you. I'm thinking about wearing this to a party tonight. What do you think of this? It's like the old left shoe, right shoe thing. Okay, maybe the men don't understand that, but the girls do. There's a company called Squishables, and they sell these squishable stuffed animals. They're adorable. I don't get it, but anyway. Every time they launch a new product, they say, we're gonna sell a new penguin. Do you like the purple bow or the pink bow? And they get hundreds of people responding to this post on Facebook. This little social media site with 1 billion users. Post every day. Number 2, okay, ooh, this one's deep. Ready? Stop clicking like. I will tell you why in just a moment. I'm building excitement, anticipation. So, Facebook says the average user has 130 friends. Would you say that most of you have more than that? I mean, friends is kind of a loose term anymore, but you know what I mean. So it's really easy to just go down your newsfeed and like. So nice. But what happens on your Facebook page when you get 80 likes or 30 likes is it says, this post was liked by Joe Smith and 42 other people. Oh, that's nice, thanks Joe. I don't look at who the other 42 people are. Now maybe some of you do, but I don't. But I read every single comment. So if you want to make maximum impact, start commenting. It's harder to do because it takes a little bit more time, but every once in a while, there's this Facebook meme, this picture with words on it that comes floating by and it'll say, I like you enough to click like, but not enough to spend 5 seconds to write a comment. So if you can take a few seconds to just write a comment, it doesn't have to be a book, but just to say, thanks for sharing, oh I love that, stop clicking like. You can type like, that's a little bit of a stretch. Yes? What she asked is, does it increase your social status when people click like on your stuff? And the answer to that question is, it increases your opportunity. Because if I click like on something you posted, then my friends say, oh, what did Tracey just click like on? And they can go look at it. And so that's where that reach number comes from. The other thing about EdgeRank that's important to know is, or that you should pay attention to, is they give higher points to different activity on a page. So the first thing is sharing. If you post something that people share, that's the best thing that they can do. The next best thing is to comment, and then the least is liking. So all of those things help your page get visible. Yes? Absolutely. She asked if you should split the business Facebook and the business. I said that, thank you. Business, personal. There's 2 main reasons. 1, people are your friends because they're your friends and they want to stay personal with you. 2, it's against Facebook's terms of service to post too much about your business on your personal page. They will actually delete you and you never get it back because you violated the terms. Okay, moving on. Thank people personally. Now, you might be looking at that picture and going, what in the world does a Millennium Falcon have to do with thanking people personally? Well, let me tell you. So one of the things that's great about social media is it allows you to find out things about people that you may not have otherwise been able to find out. You want to know somebody's favorite restaurant or things that they love to do or hobbies that they enjoy? If you're connected with them, you might just be able to peruse their Facebook page or their Pinterest account or their Twitter to see what they're talking about on a regular basis. And then thank them accordingly. They'll never be able to forget you. So let me tell you about somebody who will never be able to forget me. I'm friends with this gentleman named Brian. And on his Facebook page a couple of months ago, oh, I should tell you about Brian. He sends me lots of referrals. So he posted on his Facebook page a link to this item on a website called thinkgeek.com. Oh my gosh, if you'd like to lose a few hours and you like Star Wars or Star Trek or anything like that. So he posted a picture of this with a link and it just said, want. Okay, click buy, because Brian is somebody who sends me referrals and I would like him to continue to send me referrals. So what makes this even better is he gets this in the mail. Well, it came to me first, then I mailed it to him. He posted on his business page about me and my business. He posted on his personal page about me and my business. But even better, this thing's magnetic. So it's stuck on his fridge. So every day when he goes into his refrigerator, he sees this Millennium Falcon. But even better is every time he has a beer, he's thinking about me and this gift that I gave him. And you can do the same thing with social media, finding people and finding out what they like and what they're about so that you can thank them accordingly. I mean, it's nice to get a Starbucks card in the mail, but how much nicer to get something that you really are going to love and cherish. Because we're friends on Facebook, and he posted a link and said, want. I mean, that was a little direct. He's posted some other things since then and wrote want, and then I have commented it's not going to happen. And I don't know if they were directed to me. So 4 of the most powerful words you can use on social media are, this week we helped. This week we helped. So I have a friend, he's a contractor. And I love him to pieces, but his social media sucks. Because he'll say, look at that ugly wall, we can fix that wall. Oh, look at that ugly window over there, we can fix that. Instead, if he said, this week we helped a family replace their windows, it does 2 things for him. First of all, everybody loves people who help. The second thing is, it makes my mental Rolodex click. Oh, who do I know who needs windows? Because I bet that my friend could help them out too. I have a client that's an insurance agent. Any of you insurance agents? Oh, good. If I talked about insurance on his business page every day, that would be boring. But instead, I do this. I say, this week we helped a family with a new teen driver. We upgraded their insurance and we got them an umbrella policy. That's it. Not call us if you need an umbrella policy, but just, this is who we're helping. Because then when other people see it, they go, oh wait, doesn't so-and-so have a new teen driver? I bet they can help him. And I've seen, so this is my own creation, this week we helped. But I watch other people do it who have heard me say it, and I just get giddy because it works. The reactions that people respond, and that's what we want them to do on social media. Take it offline. So, another story, well, I guess this isn't a story, but just kind of how we do life now. When we used to experience a loss, for example, our dog died, so sad. It used to be that you would tell your friends and they would spread it, they would share it for you, because it's good to spread bad news. You know, people get to share their own good news, but people would let other people know, and what would we do? We would call, we would picking up the phone, novel concept. We would write them a card. Now what do? Sorry, hugs, right? So what has happened in this, we're hyper-connected. We're connected everywhere. We're connected on LinkedIn, and we're friends on Facebook, and we're following each other on Twitter, and I haven't even begun to talk about Google+. But we're hyper-connected. And yet what we crave is human interaction. Because, yeah, this is nice, like, and I comment, but that's not people. So making sure we take it offline. I have one friend who's now a friend that wasn't before, but her and I were following each other on Twitter, and I decided, I read her blog, and on her blog, she talked about how she met with 2 Twitter followers a week that she didn't know. So I'm like, great, I'm taking her up on it. And I, tweeted to her and said, hey, here's what I heard you do. Would you like to get together and have coffee? So, and it doesn't have to be just the people we don't know, but even the people we do know. It's amazing in this hyper-connected state we're in, how amazing, how impactful it is just to answer the phone. I had no idea. But in the last week, I got 3 phone calls from people I like, who are friends of mine, and the response that I got when I answered the phone was really a shock to me. Oh my gosh, you picked up. Because nobody picks up, right? It goes to voicemail, we're screening our calls or whatever, but that human interaction. So I have a bonus one. So I said 5, but there's a bonus. I have 6. Number 6. What's number 6? Oh. Know your limitations. So it would be very easy for someone in business to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to be on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and Google and Instagram and Pinterest and on and on and on and on. And first of all, you don't need to be everywhere. There are no absolutes in social media. That also goes for if someone says, you don't need to be somewhere, well, you need to find out for yourself where you should be. And there's, some things that you can do to figure out where that is. Like, Annette should be on Pinterest because what she does is visual. I'm on Pinterest for fun and recipes, but do you guys even know what Pinterest is? There's some shaking heads. There's a few no. Pinterest is about 30% men, 70% women. Google Plus is just the opposite. I'm not quite sure why that is, but anyway. But knowing your limitations, know when to ask for help. It's okay to do all those things. And so going back to, and speaking of help, I should take this opportunity. I'm teaching a couple of workshops coming up, so if you want to know more about them, the first one is next week, and it's all about Twitter. Twitter for Business, tips and tricks for your tweets. I can only say that once. And then that's the 13th, and then on the 19th, I'm doing one called Leveraging LinkedIn, and I'm doing it here. So I appreciate this opportunity to speak here because, wow, I think I have ADD, and this is really something else. So going back to what I said at the beginning, that it's all about stories. So you want to make sure that you are the one telling your story. And this is how where you find me.
Thank you, Tracey. That was very nice. So now I have to stop liking every single.
You don't have to stop everything.
Okay, can I just leave this so people can jot that down? And this concludes today's meeting. Unless anybody else have any announcements, I will take the control over to Linda. That's right, Linda. Watch out, Linda.